Kendall, it's good to speak to you.
Good to speak to you.
Thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you guys.
How's the UK tour going so far?
Oh,
With TJ and John?
It's been unreal.
Really?
It has been. I've never witnessed anything like the people over here, the fans, and it's insane.
Yeah. Has it been good fun being with TJ and John?
Oh, it's always a great time being with those two. I mean, they're a couple cards, man. They're a good time.
How long have you known TJ and John?
A long time, way before they had record deals. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, for anybody who hasn't kind of heard too much about you, give us a little bit of an introduction into your backstory and tell us about your phenomenal songwriting career.
Well, I don't know about phenomenal, but
Oh, it is. Just
lucky, I guess you could say. I moved to Nashville in 1998 and moved there to be an artist. And the songwriting thing happened immediately for some reason. Just was in the right room at the right time with the right guy and wrote a hit song my first day in Nashville. And my kids were little, 2 and 7 at the time, and I just started having hits and getting cuts on other folks. I thought, man, I think I'm going to do this. Heck with that artist thing. And it worked out the way it's supposed to. So I've done that for 20 years, and I still write songs, for other folks. I've got several on Brothers Osborne's record that's coming out, or that's out now. But when Chris Stapleton blew up, and the music credibility in America really changed. You had Jason Isbell and Sturgill Simpson, a lot of guys getting noticed and actually making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And they just wasn't on country music radio, which is been a hurdle for a lot of artists for a lot of years.
Yeah, I was just speaking to TJ and John about that actually, and we were talking about the ACM Awards win that they had, and I was saying that everybody else in that category is well ahead of them in terms of radio play. It's quite interesting. Isn't it?
Right.
So.
Yeah, but they offer something different. They just sound a little different, and they're drawing different kind of people than people that just listen to radio. Yeah.
So do you still remember the moment when you first heard a song on the radio?
Oh yeah, and I still do.
Right.
I mean, I still get excited over when I hear when I get new stuff on the radio. I mean, it's it's flattering. It's honored to have other people sing your songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first time I ever heard it, actually, we was driving home we grew up in Illinois, and me and my wife and the kids were coming home from Illinois, and the Gary Allen song came on the radio, and I screamed like a schoolgirl and woke everybody up. They was asleep in the car. So yeah.
Is that just as special now as it was back then?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So tell us about this new album that you're making. What was kind of the moment that flipped the switch for you, where you thought, right, I've got to do this?
When Stapleton took off. That was the one that was like, man, he don't look like the rest of the guys. He don't sound like the rest of the guys. And there's a lot of hungry country music fans out there. And with all the digital platforms, Spotify's and such, there's other outlets to get your music out there nowadays. And so I immediately went. I thought the next day I said, I'm gonna go make my record. And called Keith Gaddis, my producer, and asked him if he would produce it. And I'm not sure I would even done it if he had declined, because he was the guy that I wanted to do it with. I love the way his record sounded that he made on himself. And he agreed to, and we wrote some songs and cut some old songs of mine, and it was a blast. Yeah.
What was Keith like to work with in the studio? What does he add to the whole project? And
everything. I mean, it wouldn't be the record that it is without his influence on it. I mean, he just listens with different ears, and he hears things different than me. And all the songs, all the Stapleton songs that we've written together that I record on my record, they didn't sound anything like that. There was one on there called "Untangle My Mind," which Stapleton has, and the way he does it's the original way we wrote it. And Keith was like, I think we should do it like this, and it was hard for my ears to adjust to it for a minute. It was like I'm just so used to doing it this certain way, and so yeah, he brings a whole different element to the table, for sure.
Does it kind of feel like a weight off your shoulders releasing a solo album, because you've kind of always been the man behind the song, and now you're stepping out of that shadow? So what's that feel like to you?
Oh, it feels amazing, especially like when I come over here. And we're making some noise in America as well, but to see the people react the way they have over here, it makes me think it may not be my only record I'm going to do. Because when I put it out, I didn't know what nobody was going to do. What the people was going to think of it. So I was like, well, we'll see what happens. And now I'm starting to think maybe I'll have to make another one. Yeah. Which ain't going to hurt my feelings.
Like that. We'd certainly like that. But you've given us a taster of the album already with the title track and Gypsy Woman, which are already out there. And those two are really diverse and very, very different. So is that a reflection of the whole album?
It is, yeah. You know, it's basically a concept record. We made the whole record because Keith said, "What do you got in mind for this?" And I said, "Well, Lowdown and Lonesome. You know, it was a song him and I and Randy Houser had written." I said, "I think we should make a concept record where in every song I'm low down or I'm lonesome." So that's what the whole thing is. Either I'm either rocking hard or I'm lonely because I was rocking hard and my woman left me. You know, it all kind of intertwines, and it's ZZ Top meets Merle Haggard is what I tell people. We've got some rock stuff on there, and we got some super country stuff on there.
That's cool. We look forward to hearing that. Now, tell us a little bit about your honky-tonk experience that you do back in Nashville.
We come up with
Sounds
that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting show. We had me and Keith Gaddis and his wife Penny and my wife Randa was having dinner, and he was like, "We need to do something to draw attention to you as an artist," and because people in Nashville just know me as a songwriter. He said, "Well, I think you should start a show, you know, do some shows here in town," and it evolved into the Honky Tonk Experience, and we just invited friends out, you know, the first show, and we didn't know what kind of crowd we was going to have. We had a good crowd, and Jamie Johnson came out and sang with us, Alison Krauss and Randy Houser.
That's not a bad lineup, is it?
It's not a bad lineup at all, because it was so good that at the end of the night I was like, well, there's nowhere to go but down from here. But man, people have been showing up, different artists, everybody from Cody Jinks, Brothers Osborne's done a couple of them. Some of the Foo Fighters came out and played country songs with us. I mean, it's a big, broad spectrum of people that show up. A couple of the Black Crowes, you know. Yeah, it's fun.
So you're doing some more of those in the future when you get permanently?
I am. Yeah, I got one more. I got one in June. Then we got September, October, November, December, and then we'll reevaluate next year. see what's happening. I hope to still do it next year. Maybe I can't do it every month. It turns into a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun as well.
So as well as that, what's the plan for the rest of 2018 for you once you've got the album out? Are you doing lots of touring? And...
Yeah, we're getting some dates. I'm doing some dates with the brothers in the States as well, and doing some stuff with Jamie Johnson, and working on some other things, and hopefully come back here in the fall.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll be just me. I'm sure it'll be support act for somebody else, you know, for a little while, build a fan base up. So,
do you look at the crowds here and think like that's my kind of crowd? Like,
every one of them.
Do you just engage with?
Yeah, they're so engaged with music, and they're so. That's what done an interview earlier, and the fellow was asking me, said, "What's the difference between American crowds and crowds here?" I think the folks over here are more lyric driven. They want to hear the words and want to get your song. And a lot of times in America, they just want to party, you know, and dance and
it's amazing. Every single artist says exactly the same thing.
Is that right?
Yeah,
because I mean,
that's
they're
incredible.
deathly quiet when I sing, and it's almost an uncomfortable quiet. You know, it's like there's a place called the Bluebird Cafe at home, which is a very hush crowd. You know, you're not allowed to talk, but it's only like 80 people. When you're playing for 1,200 people, and they're just standing there staring at you, it's a little strange for that first song until you finish, and it just roar. Yeah. And then you start again, and they quieten right back down again, and do the same thing again. It's awesome. I wish every night was like that.
That's very cool to hear. Well, Kendell, thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. Appreciate it as always. And,
appreciate it.
We'll catch up with you next time you're in the UK.
You got it. Hopefully soon.